All right, guys, Coach Gus Malzahn coming into his 7th year as an Auburn head coach. Garnished a lot of criticism, garnished a lot of praise, all at the same time. Gus Malzahn definitely at a crossroad at 7-2, ranked number 11 in the country, with the eyes of the world literally staring in his face because he's got Georgia coming to town, who is number 6 in the college football playoff, and he's got Alabama, who has been on the proverbial high-level threshold of the SEC for the past, ever since Nick Saban has been there. A lot of pressure on Gus Malzahn right now, but where has Gus Malzahn gone wrong? We're going to break it down real quick. I'm not going to hold you on tonight. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Well, for number one, Gus Malzahn did not have the privilege or the opportunity to be a protege of an experienced coach. You think about most of the coaches who are doing okay in the SEC. Some of them are not even doing that well. You talk about Kirby Smart, who was under Nick Saban, did a little time at Auburn. Also you talk about Kirby Smart, who had lost to South Carolina in overtime this year. So those guys are not doing particularly stellar, but they had the opportunity to see what it is to be successful in the college football ranks. Because if you think about Coach Gus Malzahn, yes, some of the recruiting classes ranked pretty high, but it was because of some maybe some 5-star recruit like Byron Cowart or Calvin Ashley at, a 5-star recruit at 99.9%, bringing up a relatively mediocre recruiting class up to a top 10 recruiting class. But what Gus Malzahn has had to learn through trial and error, and through the fact that, depth has been an issue for Gus Malzahn because of recruiting. You think about the 2016 season, Auburn literally staring the idea of being the first 2-loss team in the college football playoff. But what happens? Your running back goes down and the season goes kaput. 2017, pretty much the same thing. Kerryon Johnson goes down, the season goes kaput. 2018, Auburn just in total disarray. You have a Booby Whitlow, who was a midnight owl recruit out of Tulane. I like Booby Whitlow, but at the same time, when you talk about being able to sustain yourself in Power 5 football, you can't roll the dice in the midnight hour. You have to have solid guys. So I think Gus might have started to figure this whole recruiting thing out. Right now, if you look at the 2019 recruiting class, very, very solid recruiting class. You talk about 2 5-star recruits sandwiched in with a lot of high-level 4-star recruits and then high-end 3-star recruits. That's why you're getting the depth that you have now. Many of you all don't know, but a lot of the players who are playing are guys from the 2019 and 2018 recruiting class. Owen Pappo, one of the best linebackers picked out of the 2019 class. Very, very active. Is probably going to be a freshman All-American. This guy came off the bus ready to play. Bo Nix, I've garnished a lot of, I've had a lot of criticism for Bo Nix, but he showed me some things against Ole Miss. Yeah, I know it's Ole Miss, but he showed me some things. He showed me some promise. He shows me that he is coachable and that he has the skill set to be everything that he has been billed to be in due time. And we might find out real quick in this Georgia game if Bo Nix is ready for the task. Man, I really like what I'm starting to see out of Bo Nix, his resiliency and his ability to adapt to the college football ranks. Now, the only games that he's done absolutely terrible has been away from Jordan-Hare Stadium, and that's a part of his game that he's definitely going to have to polish, but he won't get to polish it this year because you got Georgia, Sanford, and Alabama in the friendly confines of the jungle, Jordan-Hare Stadium. Now, going back to Gus Malzahn, I think Gus Malzahn made some really, really crucial recruiting mistakes, especially at the quarterback position. You talk about, Jeremy Johnson, my God, Sean White, Woody Barrett. I even think on the low, Joey Gatewood was probably a recruiting mistake because he doesn't fit what you're trying to do. And it's no need to waste guys' time. That's why it's really crucial. Auburn just recently got a recruit out of North Carolina. Now, they don't have him, but they're kind of knocking on the door because they understand they're trying to backtrack. Auburn is trying to backtrack the fact that, yeah, we dropped the ball recruiting, especially at some of our crucial positions. Kind of gained some ground this week, especially at the defensive line position, because in order to keep the continuity going with this defensive line, you got to get some high-level guys. They got Jay Hardy out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Because guess who's leaving next year? You about to be without Nick Cole, Derek Brown, and Marlon Davidson. But you got some guys who are really performing this year, so you have an opportunity to, we talked about this ad nauseum. We talked about this a lot on this channel. Instead of rebuilding, you're actually reloading. And that's what Auburn is doing through their recruiting. Now, it's going to take about a recruiting class or so, but Auburn is starting to see a trend. First of all, if Gus Malzahn's offense is going to work, you got to have a very, very good running back. Now, we talk about all the time the whole dual threat, RPO, zone read guy. Yes, that is something that you need. But every time Gus Malzahn's offense is successful at a high level, guess what you got? You got a very, very good running back. You go all the way back to, say, 2010, you got Michael Dyer. You go to 2011, you still got Michael Dyer. You got 2012, things just didn't look so good for the Tigers. 2013, you got Trey Mason. 2014, you got Cameron Artis-Payne. That's when stuff started to taper off. Defenses are not as intimidated by a guy like Cameron Artis-Payne as they are by a guy like Trey Mason. I will go out on a limb and say this. Auburn has not had a great RPO zone read running back since Trey Mason. And I think they have the opportunity to start develop a guy like that with DJ Williams. And guess who's coming on board next year, baby? Tank Bigsby. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this video and about Gus Malzahn and the recruiting efforts. I think the Auburn is going in the right direction. You talk about the number 8 recruiting class in the country for a guy that's on the proverbial hot seat. That is absolutely asinine, in my opinion. You're 7-2, ranked number 11 late in the season. There's no way you are on the hot seat. But, hey, that's just me. Call me a sunshine pumper if you want to. I'm going to keep pumping this sunshine for the Auburn Tigers. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. This is my channel, War Eagle.